Just redo that.
All right.
Alrighty. Hi there, I'm Ben. I interviewed someone named David Balkin. He's a professor in Lee School of Business. So one of the research topics he works on is researching the effectiveness between employee benefits and employee incentive to work. So essentially, if an employee receives more benefits, will they work harder? Less benefits, will they work less? And then how does pay differ if they receive benefits or no benefits at all? So that's really interesting for me as a new or transferring to business right now, and I really like business and like the marketing aspect of that. Okay, and so so when I asked him why he chose this area of research, he said so he's had multiple jobs from when he's a teenager to now, and he's in his mid-40s right now. So over the years, he's noticed how between himself and his peers that there's been a gap between incentive to work and like the pay. So if you have minimum wage, do people work harder? Or if people like, for instance, servers, they don't make minimum wage, do they work harder to make more tips? And then how does that gap differ? So why is this important? It's important because it really gives an outlook to employers on how to structure their business, especially for small business employers as well. Because it'll show them, depending on the type of business they run, how should I structure pay and how should I even give benefits at all? So what are the main questions in research? Like I said before, in his main general idea, is there a correlation between benefits and pay? And also, do employees work harder when they are given benefits or when they are only paid hourly? So I asked him what methods does he use to collect this information. So this is still an ongoing research project. So in order to collect this data, he sent out surveys to employers and their employees in both Boulder and Denver to collect a wide span, or a wide range of data. And so as this is still an ongoing research area, he doesn't know his results yet. So what type of results is he expecting? He expects there won't be a major difference in the between the two in order of benefits. However, the incentive to work will differ based on members in the food service industry and in the retail industry. Based, as I said before, since waiters and food runners and chefs, they don't make a minimum wage. They have to work for tips as well. So and so then I asked him, do you have any advice for undergraduates that's considering doing a research project or joining a lab, for instance, in the science field? And so he mentioned that it's best to start early and number one, to start building your academic resume, but then also to expose yourself to new ideas and to new topics that you might not have thought about before, which could give you incentive to either join a new lab, start your own research, or maybe even change your own major depending on what you found out. And so, however, he said to get involved, for some students in the science field, if you get involved in a lab, make sure you're interested in the lab you're working at. Because number one, it's hard to go to a lab every day or every week for something you're not interested in, but also, most importantly, if you're interested in that topic, then it makes it easier to form new ideas and new questions as you go along with the experiment, which differs actually from what the undergraduate student that I interviewed said, named Philip Goldman. He said that in his experience, he joined a lab only because he said, oh, it's best to start early, and I need to get in the lab as soon as possible to build my academic resume, like David Balkin said. However, he joined a lab that he was not very interested in and didn't know anything about. Now, not knowing anything about it is fine. However, he wasn't interested, and so he ended up going, and he didn't really get as much out of the experience as he could have, unless, for instance, if he had joined a lab he was more interested in. Because he joined a lab that was talking about river ecosystems, and he's more interested in PT and prosthetics and that range of fields. So it's quite a big gap there, and so he wasn't the most interested in that. And so thus he's actually changed labs now, and he's gone to a PT lab, and he's working for a PT company as well. And so now he didn't waste his first year doing that. He did get his academic resume built. However, you want to always join a lab that you're interested in, just because to stay in that lab, to grow through there. And then especially if it's a lab that'll pay you throughout your college career, that's always a great way to go. So thank you. Have a great day.
Nice.
Yeah.